It's a great pleasure to welcome Brent Petersen to What's Next. Now, Brent is an admitted attorney and Notary Public of the High Court of South Africa. He's also a legal professional. He's got 9 years post-qualification experience, but we're talking about crypto, and he's got lots of experience in corporate and commercial law, but he currently acts as the head of South Africa's easycrypto.com, which is a South African-based crypto asset exchange retailer with its roots established in New Zealand, and it offers South Africans to buy and sell crypto assets in a simple, smart, and easy way. Brent, it's great to have you with us. Brent Petersen, head of South Africa at Easy Crypto. How are you doing, Brent?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's great. Well, it's great to have you on the show with us. Well, listen, a lot of talk about crypto in the last years. We know there are also controversies around crypto, but the point is that it is the way of the future, and the interest rate is basically our borrowing cost, right? So when we look at and how we experience the effects of it in many different aspects of our lives, if your bond rate, if you've got any kind of loan, for example, interest rates basically influence the way we spend money, but more equally and as important, how we save money as well. Now, bearing this in mind, recent studies suggest that the first place consumers clamp down on are long-term life investments. People cut down on their premiums and insurance policies, etc. Medical aids are affected, life policies, savings and investments, endowments. Now, let me ask you how you foresee this affecting crypto investments in South Africa. So people are already, cutting back on a lot of things. Is this going to affect crypto investments as well? What are you guys seeing?
Well, I think the relationship between interest rates and crypto investments in South Africa can be complex and multifaceted. While it is true that interest rates can influence consumer behavior and financial positions, specifically long-term life investments, the direct impact on crypto investments may not be as pronounced. The reason I say that is because crypto investments or even cryptocurrencies are driven by a range of factors, that include market dynamics, technical and technological advancements, regulatory developments, and also investor and market sentiment. So taking that into account, there are a few ways I believe which changes in interest rates, how it could potentially impact crypto investments in South Africa. I think one of the first things is obviously risk appetite.
Yes.
Lower interest rates generally encourage risk-taking behavior, as investors search for higher yields. But in such an environment, some investors may be more inclined to allocate a portion of their investment portfolio to cryptocurrencies, which are known for potential higher returns, but also carry higher risks. I think also a very important component or consideration is market sentiment. Interest rates can change and can impact the overall market sentiment and investor confidence. If interest rates are rising due to concerns about inflation or economic instability, it could create a negative sentiment in the broader financial markets, including crypto. But on the other side, if crypto interest rates are lowered to stimulate economic growth, it could potentially boost investor confidence and then lead to increase in crypto investments. So I think it's probably worth noting that crypto investments are also influenced by factors that pertain to the actual cryptocurrency industry itself, such as regulatory developments. I mentioned, technological advancements, market volatility, and global adoption trends. So I would say these are the more significant factors that impact crypto investments compared to changes in interest rates.
Okay, that's very, very, very interesting. I mean, when you look at really, with many of South African consumers revisiting saving strategies, and that's what everyone is doing at the moment in their homes. They're saying, "Look, what can we do? Let's revisit this." What would what would entice or incentivize the consumer to invest in crypto instead, and make them feel comfortable doing that?
Yeah. So I think, to entice and incentivize South Africans to invest in cryptocurrencies instead of your traditional saving strategies, there are also several factors that play a role. So I think, again, it's a diversification. One could be a diversification of opportunities. Cryptocurrencies offer an additional asset class. I mean, it has been declared as a financial product in South Africa under the Financial Advisor and Intermediary Services Act, which is quite phenomenal, getting that recognition as a new asset class. And I think also by investing in cryptocurrencies, consumers can diversify their investment portfolios beyond traditional options like stocks and bonds. So diversification can help spread risk and potentially enhance the overall performance of a consumer's portfolio. I think another component is definitely the technological innovation around cryptocurrencies, because it's built on an innovative blockchain technology, which appeals to individuals who are interested in those types of advancements, and the potential of it to disrupt the power of decentralized finance. So the aspect can be, quite appealing to tech savvy consumers who are looking for investment opportunities that are actually aligned with their interests. I think another important component that I would also have to mention is definitely, again, the potential for high returns. Cryptocurrencies have gained a reputation for the potential to deliver significant returns, and the higher the return potential it is definitely a higher return potential compared to traditional savings accounts and other investment options that could attract consumers. I think the last one that would be quite interesting, or is definitely worth noting, is financial inclusion. I think the cryptocurrencies have the potential to provide financial services to the unbanked and the underbanked populations in South Africa, where there's a significant portion of the population without access to traditional banking services. So cryptocurrencies can offer that an alternative means of participation in the financial system, fostering financial inclusion. So that's quite important. And I would also want to mention, educational resources and support, providing consumers with access to educational resources, workshops, support that support and assist in understanding how the investment in cryptocurrencies operate. They can also help them build trust and confidence among consumers who may be a bit hesitant at first or unfamiliar with the specific asset class.
Okay. Now, we often hear of different kind of investments, and the one that scares me quite a bit is forex trading. And you see a lot of it stuff and people posting stuff on Facebook, and you know that there's something that's not right. How does crypto investment, and I'm not saying that forex trading is all bad. I think that if you're a professional trader, you can gain good returns. But how does crypto investment differ from forex trading?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question and comparative to make, because crypto investment and forex trading are both forms of speculative, investment involving financial markets, but they do have some key differences. So I would again mention the asset class component. Crypto investments, involving buying and holding cryptocurrencies, for a long period of time. With the expectation that long term there will be a long term appreciation or increase in value. So if you look at it from that way, it is a bet on the future value and adoption of an underlying technology. But forex trading, on the other hand, focuses on trading, currency pairs in the foreign exchange market, and forex traders speculate on relative, value of one currency against the other, aiming for profit from the fluctuation in exchange rates. So that is definitely one important component. Another comparative, I would say, is definitely volatility. Cryptocurrencies are known for being highly volatile, with prices often experiencing significant swings, with short periods. This volatility can present opportunities for substantial gains, but also increases the risk of losses. But if we look at forex markets, it can also be very volatile. But the extent of the price movements is generally influenced by economic factors and geopolitical events rather than an inherent volatility of the asset itself. I would also mention, Akai, that I think the liquidity is also quite important. Forex trading is one of the largest financial markets globally, with high liquidity and tight spreads. But so it is relatively easy to enter and exit positions in, major currency pairs. But with cryptocurrency markets, while it grows in liquidity, it can also still be more liquid compared to, to the forex, especially for less popular or lower cap cryptocurrencies. And this can result in wider spreads and potentially more challenging execution of trades. And I think the most important is definitely regulatory environment. Forex trading is regulated in most jurisdictions, which are with established regulatory bodies overseeing brokers and enforcing rules to protect investors. Crypto investments, on the other hand, operate in a regulatory landscape that is still evolving in South Africa and can vary significantly between countries. So the lack of consistent regulations and investor protections in the crypto space introduces that traditional, I would say, risk and difference compared to forex trading.
Okay, now that makes sense. Look, the reality is that there's a clear hesitancy in the South African market to adopt crypto. It's obviously relatively new in terms of the bigger scale of financial markets, and of course there has been some controversy in the last few years. Let's not skirt around that issue. But why do you think that it has? How do we curb the stigma attached to crypto? How do we make it more positive? How do we convince people that it's a safe investment?
Yes. Well, look, I think, on that component of trying to explain, to people why it would be a safe investment, again boils down to, knowledge and understanding about the crypto industry space. Many individuals have most people actually have limited knowledge and understanding of cryptocurrencies and the underlying blockchain technology. And crypto is a relatively new and complex concept, so to speak. And, sometimes that puts people off because they lack that understanding. But the education and awareness initiatives that explain cryptocurrency in simple terms highlight their potential benefits and help demystify the technology and other concerns that they may have. Again, I think another component with regards to the adoption of crypto assets in South Africa is something that is definitely increasing. We've seen that based on data and stats that's been provided, and that has actually increased on the basis that it's been declared a financial product. I mean, it was only declared a financial product on the 19th of October 2022. So there has been a slow integration into South Africa's regulatory framework, more specifically the financial sector, where crypto assets are finding its place under the financial sector laws as a new asset class. So the regulatory landscape surrounding crypto assets or currencies is still evolving in South Africa, but it looks very good. I mean, the fact, like I mentioned, the fact that it's been given that recognition and that place in the regulatory framework is a positive. So I think that is one of the things that can assist in terms of actually adopting that new asset class and utilizing it based on the blockchain technology that's provided. I would also want to mention, sometimes there is uncertainty on how crypto assets will be regulated and concerns about potential risks. But the fact that we have a regulatory authority where crypto asset service providers like ourselves have to report to, have to be licensed, have to have specific money laundering and combating of financing of terrorism policies and processes in place. Everyone knows also with regards to businesses that are declared as accountable institutions, they need to vet who they are dealing with, identify the person, make sure that that is in fact the person that they're dealing with. And those processes and controls that you put in place assist people to understand that it is a asset class that is in the process of being regulated. It is regulated, but it just needs to be adopted into various use cases that crypto asset, services can be provided in that specific context. I think another component that is definitely worth mentioning is again also the volatility and risk perception, one of the things that we always try to educate, consumers about is that there's always risks with investments, right? So it's important to understand what type of crypto asset you are investing in, what is the underlying purpose of that specific crypto asset. And because of crypto assets being known for their high price volatility, which can make some investors weary of entering into the market. So the perception of high risk coupled with limited understanding can automatically deter individuals from considering crypto investments. But based on my understanding, having carefully monitored how international law has influenced South African law with crypto assets, has actually seen a positive adoption rate, which is slowly increasing.
Okay, that's interesting. It's a very interesting observation. According to the blockchain in retail market report by Fortune Business Insights, it was quite a recent one. It said that the pandemic helped accelerate the global growth of the blockchain retail market, despite supply chain disruptions and global economic woes. Now, can the same be said for South Africa?
Yeah, I think definitely the retail market is actually, you're using crypto assets as a means of payment in the retail space is actually what the focus is right now. As you start to explore and understand crypto assets and fundamentally the various use cases that can be derived from that, retail merchants are actually looking at crypto assets as another form of payment, for any type of services, or even at the point of sale at your door. So I think maybe what is worth mentioning is that, while the pandemic has actually accelerated the global growth of blockchain retail market, it's also very important to note that the specific impact on South Africa may differ due to unique market conditions and challenges. And what I'm saying is our unique market condition or considerations is that it's actually been it is a regulated product. So now testing the various use cases in how you can adopt it and utilize it is very appealing to the retail market. So with taking that into account, I think the financial inclusion of crypto adoption in South Africa has a significant impact for unbanked population, and the pandemic has actually further highlighted the importance of financial inclusion in blockchain technology. So with the potential of decentralized financial services that could offer solutions for improving access to financial services and empowering I would say less accessed individuals to be able to be included in the financial space is what crypto assets provide. But I think the important topic again, as I always come back, to the regulatory component. That's my backbone. That's my understanding. And that is what gives me a clear insight to know what's going to happen with crypto assets as things develop. So again, it's been declared a financial product. It provides certainty. Yes, there is risk that is involved, but it depends on your use case. And crypto assets have various use cases. Long-term investment, using it as a means of payment for services that is rendered to be traded between peers. So those are the various use cases that can be used. And I think the retail space is definitely one of the options that retail merchants are looking at. I mean, there is the adoption of using crypto as a means of payment with Pick and Pay. You can go into Pick and Pay. You can go
Yes.
pay Bitcoin using the QR code that is presented, and then actually paying for your groceries right there at the point of sale. So that is a form of adoption, and Pick and Pay is is the second biggest retailer in South Africa. So I think they are kind of setting the scene for how it can be utilized, because as I understand, it's been rolled out in 1,600 and I think 33 stores.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Well, I was reading another report. This was from April, if I'm not mistaken, Demystifying Crypto. It was a report by the payment platform checkout.com. And they showed that 45% of consumers between the ages of 18 and 35, they believe that crypto should be used as a currency. And 62% of merchants plan to introduce digital coins tokens and even NFTs as part of their loyalty schemes. Now, do you think that level of demand exists in South Africa? And if it does, do you think that level of demand will drive the use of crypto? I'm sure we're shifting towards that if we're not there already.
Yes, no, a very good point. I think one thing that we need to make quite clear about is that in South Africa, crypto assets are not considered to be legal tender or be a representation, so to speak, of actual fiat currency or ZAR. Right?
Yes.
It's an asset class that's been utilized, that does have a potential value that can be utilized for purposes of payment, trading, investing. And I think the level of demand for crypto as a currency and the adoption of cryptocurrency and digital coins is definitely there, but it's not in South Africa in the context of it being legal tender. But it can be used as a form of change of value between individuals. So I think while it is difficult to provide a precise data or on the specific demand of crypto use cases all out South Africa, there are definitely factors that suggest that there is a growing interest in cryptocurrency, digital payments, and financial inclusion. Again, another topic that I mentioned on with regards to the other questions that you asked, that South Africa has a significant portion of the population that is unbanked and underbanked, and cryptocurrencies can offer an alternative means of participating in the financial system and conducting actual digital transactions and potentially addressing the issues of financial inclusion. So, as digital payments gain traction in the country, the demand for crypto assets and the use cases thereof will definitely increase. I think it's with regards to the youth and tech savvy population, South Africa has a relatively young population, as that stats show, the age groups of people that are interested in utilizing it definitely show that young consumers are interested in using crypto as currency or as a means of change of value. And this tech savvy demographic could drive the demand for cryptocurrencies and the adoption of digital assets in various applications, including loyalty programs. I think the another component I would say is also quite important is the remittance market. South Africa has a sizable remittance market with many individuals, seeing and wanting to send and receive money. Individuals that are working in other countries that want to send money back to their families. So that ties in with the remittance market to allow cross-border transactions, obviously with the regulatory approvals that are required by SARB, but that could offer an alternative to traditional remittance services, which would be much more speedily and being given effect to quite quickly rather than going the traditional route. So the demand for crypto in South Africa is definitely influenced by those needs, the desire to make it more efficient, more cost-effective remittance options. Again, I would also mention the regulatory environment is also quite important in this. Like I've said before, the fact that crypto assets has been declared as a financial product. The Financial Intelligence Center has also just released last week a guidance note that actually clarifies in no uncertain terms what crypto assets are, who are considered to be crypto asset service providers, and under what use cases they can be utilized. And based on that, it's now the time to actually test it and implement it. And that's why I'm saying the
Yes.
adoption component is a very high topic in South Africa, specifically with retail merchants looking to use crypto assets as a means of payment. I mean, if you are able to assist the unbanked by allowing them to pay, with crypto for everyday goods, how much easier does that make their lives if they haven't been given access or don't fit the criteria of, traditional banking services, or let alone being able to open up a bank account. So I think that's what crypto assets provide in the diversity of use, ease of use, to make it easy as well. And I think that's what they find very appealing, specifically by the fact that blockchain technology allows the transactions to be transparent. It's, on a distributed open ledger, you can see when transactions took place. And I think that also makes it quite appealing to a lot of individuals that want to adopt it and utilize cryptocurrencies. So the growth and the mainstream adoption of cryptocurrencies is definitely there. the component with the regulators addresses these challenges, and they obviously want to provide it in such a way that it's user friendly, but also a secure solution.
So let's talk about that retail space that you touched on just a second ago. And there is massive opportunity over there. What do you think is the biggest opportunity for these crypto users and traders in the overall retail space currently in South Africa?
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest opportunities for crypto users and traders in the retail space currently, is the increasing acceptance and the adoption of cryptocurrency as a payment method. So the law or the definition of cryptocurrencies make it clear that it can be utilized as a means of payment. So I think some key aspects is definitely, growing merchant acceptance. Like I mentioned before, Pick n Pay's already adopted it. More retailers, both online and I would say brick and mortar, are starting to accept cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. And this provides an opportunity for crypto users to directly use their digital assets to make a purchase, and expanding on the utility and the real world value of crypto assets. Another important consideration is, I would say, also the privacy and the security component, because crypto assets provide enhanced privacy and security features compared to traditional payment methods. But also, again, with that in mind, they have to be utilizing a crypto asset service provider. But that vetting process already starts when that particular consumer wants to acquire crypto assets. So we do a check on them, make sure they are who they say they are, make sure that the funds that they are using to purchase crypto assets is not derived from illicit activities or money laundering activities, and then they get the crypto. Now they're sitting with the crypto in their wallet, and now they can use that for purposes of making payment. So I think, once that component has been set, the ability to be able to utilize it, becomes quite exciting, in the sense that it can be used across various sectors. I think loyalty programs and incentives is also quite important. Retailers have started to explore the integration of cryptocurrencies, looking at digital coins, tokens. I know you mentioned NFTs into their loyalty programs, and this provides an opportunity for crypto users, to earn and redeem awards in the form of their digital assets, which can have added value and the potential of appreciation over time. I would also say investment and saving opportunities is also good. Retail investors, can use crypto assets as a form of benefit and opportunity, as part of their broader investment portfolio. And crypto assets have the potential for significant price appreciation. But I do say that with the caveat that it can go either way. It's all about understanding and educating yourself in terms of what type of crypto assets you want to invest in, if it's long-term or short-term usage. And I think retail traders can capitalize on the short-term price, with regards to crypto assets, and also long-term growth trends based on the crypto markets.
Fantastic. Well, listen, it's all about the adoption and learning and understanding what crypto is all about and educating yourself. As you said, these are very important factors. Brent Petersen, who is the head of South Africa rather, at Easy Crypto, thank you for joining us on What's Next.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.